The new FDA has introduced new COVID vaccine restrictions. That's right, COVID vaccine restrictions. Bear with me, Mary, because I think this is one of the most insane 180s to come from this regime possible. Because here you have a man, Donald Trump, who was in his first term so proud of the vaccine rollout, so proud of Operation Warp Speed. But because his audience had been anti-vax, pilled or unpilled, they turned on him. And so he knew it's the one thing he's done. That and maybe trans issues. If I want to get reelected, I have to throw trans people under the bus and all gay people under the bus, LGBTQ plus people under the bus. And I have to turn my back on my own only crowning achievement, which was probably Operation Warp Speed, because we don't listen to experts anymore.
We need to stop trusting the experts, right? We were told at the beginning of COVID, don't look at any data yourself. Don't do any investigation yourself. Just trust the experts. And trusting the experts is not a feature of science. It's not a feature of democracy. It's a feature of religion, and it's a feature of totalitarianism. In democracies, we have the obligation, and it's one of the burdens of citizenship, to do our own research and make our own determinations.
In democracies, we don't trust experts. What about election experts? What about the people who work on things like mail-in voting that you're trying to destroy? Authoritarianism relies on experts. Sure. I mean, this is what, quite literally the opposite of authoritarianism is relying on a panel of boring science people who know what they're doing and navigate bureaucracy every day so we don't die. That's what democracy is. It's often very boring, but very important. And speaking of what, yes, go ahead.
He's actually a really interesting figure to me because I'm a big history buff, Fran. And I think if you're a Kennedy and no one's trying to blow your head off, you're probably not doing anything that good.
It's true. He's probably trying to orchestrate his own attempted assassination. But yeah, it's at least your uncle did something, as well as your dad.
Yeah.
So,
but he just shoots dope and eats bears. But go off, I guess.
He does. And now he's taking aim at all of us with that, because these COVID-19 vaccine restrictions include anyone who is under the age of 65. So if you're over 65, you're eligible still to get your COVID-19 vaccine. But 6 months and up, 5 years and up to get, 6 months and up for Moderna, 5 years and up for Pfizer, 12 years and up for Novavax. Now, this is kind of crazy because I vaccinated my then 1.5, 2-year-old with the Pfizer vaccine. She's not 5. So she now couldn't get Pfizer if, let's say, the nearest clinic only had Pfizer. She can't get that without proving she has, or any of us have, if you're under 65, cancer, chronic diseases, diabetes, heart conditions, weakened immune system, mental health conditions, overweight and obesity, physical inactivity, pregnancy, smoking, substance use disorders, transplant. Here's what I'll say. It's good pregnancies on here because a lot of the recommendations that were coming out from the CDC, the new CDC, were that pregnant people should not get vaccinated, which is terrifying to me as someone who got vaccinated and got COVID while pregnant. But I don't know, Mary. I feel like at this point, here's what I want to know. If you roll up and you say, I have a chronic disease, it's called Trump derangement syndrome, do you think that the MAGA and the Maha base will give me a vaccine?
Honestly, yeah. I mean, this just seems like a total mess. Like anyone that's working at a pharmacy and giving out vaccines, they're just going to have a situation now where every single person who goes in says, I'm a smoker, or I'm overweight, or I have depression. It's just going to be an influx of people exaggerating or making up things that they have. And I could certainly see And yeah, it seems like it's going to be at the discretion of the person working there. So I bet you there will be people that go in saying, I have Trump derangement syndrome, wink, wink. And then the person laughs and says, okay, here we go. Let me give you your vaccine.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. I think I'm gonna have to start smoking in order to get a chronic disease to
Yeah.
then get my COVID-19 vaccine. I'm pissed about this. I did a whole video about RFK Jr. We knew these, the limitations on the COVID-19 vaccine were coming, even though there is no evidence. Like, what is the evidence that children under 5 are being hurt by Pfizer? There is none. It does
Right.
not exist. And 3 CDC leaders have resigned. This is just in the past week. They cited the frustration specifically around vaccines and the rise of misinformation. That was according to Chief Medical Officer Deborah Houry. And so here we are. And exactly as you said, this throws everything into sort of chaos. Depending on the panel's advice as a CDC panel, Americans under 65 could be expected to provide documentation of a serious medical problem before they can get a shot. Also complicating the rollout is the fact that pharmacists who administer most COVID-19 shots aren't typically expected to collect that kind of information, and laws governing their ability to administer routine vaccinations vary by state. Also, insurers. And of course, right now, the vaccine is free, but if insurers aren't required to, if you're under 65 and you haven't had enough proof that you've got some sort of chronic issue, what do you think insurers are going to do? They're going to prevent you. They're going to make you pay for it. They typically base their vaccine coverage decisions on the recommendations of a panel advisors to the CDC, exactly the panel that, as I spoke about in my long form piece, that RFK Jr. dissolved and then stacked with a bunch of kooks. If the vaccines aren't covered by their insurance, those patients can be required to pay $150 or more out of pocket if they want one. If they aren't considered high risk, they might also have to find a doctor or other healthcare professional willing to give the shot, quote, off label. Yeah, this is cool. I love that. I love a back alley vaccination. Nothing instills more confidence.
Yeah. It's, oh gosh. My boyfriend, his mom is Maha, and she's like in love with RFK. I honestly think that's a big part of his appeal, of like women of a certain age do find him sexy.
Yes. Just like Chardonnay moms who are draped in alpaca.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
But I feel, well, it's, ugh.
Is she turning? Is she having a come to Jesus moment, or she likes this?
No. She's really into it because it is like brainwashing. And so I feel like you have to, like, if you want things to change, you do have to like talk to people like that and try to like figure out where your common ground is. And I feel like a good thing is like people on our side want the health insurance system to be overhauled. So if you can get a person like that to like put their guard down and say, yes, we both agree that some of these drug companies
are making a lot of money,
and
right?
Some of these insurance companies aren't the best. Okay, we agree on that reality. Then it's baby steps to de-radicalizing them.
But, I mean, this is the whole thing with conspiracies, is that there is a kernel of truth, then a grain of truth, which makes it so much harder to undo. Bernie Sanders is trying. I mean, I don't know why every Democratic senator isn't saying this, but he just had an op-ed over the weekend saying Kennedy must resign. And again, just to give, I mean, people were shitting on Bernie for it, but Bernie is, when it came to RFK Jr., he was like, look, I like your beliefs around, big agriculture or big pharma, and BT dubs, he's done nothing and isn't doing anything to actually rein those lobbyists in. In fact, big tobacco is a huge donor to MAGA and to Trump. In addition to, like, big agriculture is like, sure, we'll get rid of this one food dye,
right,
but not pesticides. Go fuck yourself. And he's like, oh, okay. So Bernie's writing here. This week, Mr. Kennedy pushed out the director, for CDC and prevention, after less than 1 month on the job because she refused to act as a rubber stamp for his dangerous policies. 4 leading officials of the CDC resigned the same week. One of those officials said Mr. Kennedy's team asked him to, quote, change studies that have been settled in the past, apparently to fit Mr. Kennedy's anti-vax views. This is not making America healthy again. So, I hope, God, I hope we could get this fool out. That I think is definitely, he is single-handedly the most dangerous person in this administration. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuationroom. Do